So welcome once more with one more such video with one of our alumni. Actually, to be alumni, she is a fourth year student from electrical department. Totally versatile personality. She's been placed over many companies now with so many packages. She'll tell it by herself. But today we'll be in conversation with Miss Yukta Patil, and we'll be specifically talking with her about one such company that she has been placed, and that is KPIT. All right. So welcome, Yukta. I welcome you from the SP&IR, whole SP&IR team. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Lavish. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much.
All right. So the very first question goes, Yukta, for you is, let the audience know what you are. Give them an overview of what you are and what companies have you been placed with.
Okay. So my name is Yukta Patil. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in electrical engineering. I'm in my final year and from Rajarshi Shahu College of Engineering. I'm a very versatile oriented personality. I spread my hands everywhere where I could, be it technical field, be it non-technical fields, be it sports, be it just some hobbies, anything. So that's how I am. Next, I've done certain internships that gave me, speaking about the technical field, I've done certain internships that helped me get so many offers from the college, from the campus, on campus. I've also done certain non-technical internships and certain activities during my all 4 years of college, which made me the person that I am today. I'm glad I could do that. I'm also very sports enthusiast. I also do yoga, and I love reading. I think that's all about me. I just love to learn everything. I'm a very keen learner, I would say.
Right. So thank you, Yukta, for your introduction. Now coming to your own personality type, that is dynamic and versatile and all of these things. So tell me, how did you develop that? Let's stop that technical thing away, but let's talk about dynamic and personality as a trait. You said you are an orator. So how did that come into play? I mean, did you do any training, or was that a process that you were in from your school days, or that is something that you made yourself learn? What was it?
Okay. I think we all have a trait in us, a characteristic, potential, I would say. We just need to find it. We just need to explore that. We just need to bring it up and just see how you want to become, how you want to see yourself in the next 5 years, 6 years, and everything. I think when I started my engineering, I was just a very lame and very cornered person. I was good at academics, but then I was a very introvert person and never on the stage person, kind of person. But then I decided that I want to change, and accordingly, I started developing certain characteristics within me. Like, I feared stage, so I started doing activities that required to stand on the stage and just speak your heart out. I started unscripted speeches. I started giving unscripted speeches at college events, at different, even I participated in different competitions where I presented myself, and that's how I became me. And also, I never liked to be just concentrated on one thing. I won't say that's a weakness, but that's a strength of me. I love to do one thing, but I also like to explore the other one. And that's how I become a very versatile personality. And I think that's description about me.
Right. Thank you. I think this is the best part of when you don't know exactly what, like if you don't know a specific topic and then you put yourself totally into it, that into a trial and error basis, and that is when you learn that it's not a big deal, to be honest. And talking about as your personality is that you can't just put your foot at one time at one place and can't be occupied into that. This is totally my type. I just can't stay with one thing for a long time. Obviously, commitment in relationships, that is a totally different thing, because many people pursue it to a very different level. So that's why I'm hearing that. But to be very honest, I don't like to keep my all of my eggs in the same basket. All right, I just want to splatter it over. and try new things. That is I think, totally my type. I think I'm glad that even after, changing the course and every of those things happened, I getting you to interview. I think that is something that had happened out of resonation. All right. So coming to acha. Now coming to this one question, this is a very pure question that I would like to ask. You said that you were a kind of alienated person. You were a person who used to sit in the corner, not so confident, this and that. So while you got yourself into that stuff called as speaking, especially when unscripted speaking is concerned, you should have that knowledge. Plus, you should have that alignment to the body and the senses that you are onto with someone. If that is the most important thing, when someone is there, obviously out of respect, you have to do that. So what do you feel now? How difficult was it for you? And because there would be audience who come from rural areas who really want to know, is it really possible if we are not from English medium, from convent, yet we can speak as fluent English as someone they inspire? What do you think about that?
Definitely. For those people, I would say that this is not such a big task. Only the biggest thing you have within you is fear. Fear of just going out there and what people will say, how people will judge you, and all these insecurities you just build up on yourself. But that's not true, actually. What the truth is you have to just be yourself, and you have to just express yourself. You don't have to see the audience who's standing there. You have to just see how you are looking on the stage when you see yourself standing in the audience. You have to express yourself that way, that you would love yourself when you start the audience, obviously. So I developed that trait in myself, obviously. Again, another thing speaking about is English. Yeah, from people coming from rural areas, from Marathi schools, if we talk about Maharashtra. So such people, a lot of times fear of speaking on the stage because of lack of English. But trust me, I was such a person. One of my friend was such a person who who was from totally pure Marathi background, from a pure total rural area, from a corner of a village. But she was more confident than I was. And she was the inspiration for me to showcase the skills, to showcase the potential, to explore the energy I have outside the world, in front of the world. So I would say just let go of the fears, let go of the insecurities, just go, stand out there and speak. That's how you become here.
All right. But Yukta, I would like to ask that, there are very few people who find that motivation, and not many of us do, right? For example, now, right from first year, we are sitting inside our four walls and, kind of being online, where you don't get that physical space. For example, now last year, December 2021, we had first year students for induction. And I was so thrilled, I was so overwhelmed standing on that stage again, expressing myself, keeping my skills and keeping my clubs and my projects and whatever I do as a student, as a third year student specifically. But that is something that I have made over time, right? That is not something that came overnight, right? So it was a process. And as far as you said that let go of fears, it's not simple, right? And especially when it's a public speaking thing, it's not simple. So what do you think is the real motivation that a person should have, a student should have, to get out of that fear?
Okay, so it's your comfort zone, I would say. It's all your comfort zone. You have to see where you want to be in next certain years. If you have that vision, you get your motivation. If you get your motivation, you just get out of your comfort zone. For me, my motivation was to be somewhere when I graduate from engineering. I just didn't want it to be that dumb, lame girl standing in the corner after 12th standard, entering into an engineering field because everyone is entering it. I wanted to look at myself as a person who is entering in corporate world, who is having certain personality, and people are admiring it. So to gain that views from people, I had to look at myself with that point of view first. And for the same, I had to get certain motivation to just get out of that comfort zone, to just we have this subconscious mind thing. So I had to just trigger my, I had to just tell myself, the deep myself, that I have to do this if I have to see myself somewhere. I know it's not easy. It's the 4 years haven't been that easy. What I've just spoken the words, it was all worth it. It will be all worth it. I'm still not perfect. I'm just around 25%, or I would say 20% of what I had imagined myself of. Still, I'm something today, and that's because I moved from my place. I moved zone to somewhere I wanted to be. I would say killing your fears is not easy, but it's the thing you have to do.
Right. I love the thing when you said that you know that you are not yet perfect, and many few people have that realization to this point that we are still learning, and to the end of the life, to that deathbed that we have something to learn from someone, junior or senior, doesn't matter. All right. Now coming a little towards your 11th and 12th, towards that journey, how satisfied you were when you got JSPM as an engineering college? And if you were satisfied, why engineering over any other courses like medical or like that? And especially after engineering, in engineering also, why electrical and not those fancy branches?
Okay, so first point, why engineering? And the second point, why electrical engineering? So let us go with the first point first. I wanted to be an engineer since my standard. When I graduated, when I passed my 10th standard and entered took 11th science, I had decided I wanted to be an engineer. And as everyone has those fantasies of just going into IITs and NITs and doing JEs, I also tried for the same, but I wasn't that lucky. But still, I took the opportunity to have good marks. And instead of going into the crowd with CSE and IT, coming to the second point, where I chose electrical, because one thing here again is my parents, both are electrical engineers. They're diploma, but they always pushed me to be an electrical engineer. Though even I didn't had much interest, but I for IT CSE anyways. So let's just explore this branch, how it goes with. And I found that after COEP, JSPM was the for this branch, and that's how I filled my how I filled the name of the college in that, and I got the sit in it. I was glad to be a part of this college because I had heard a lot from many alumni about the placements, about the academics. It is one of the top colleges from Pune, and that's why I chose this college. Choosing engineering was a thing because there are as we all have been taught, there are only two professional degrees. One is engineer, and also the another thing is I have future aspirations where I would need an engineering degree for the same. That's why I needed to be an engineer rather than any other graduate. I think that's why that's how my 11th 12th went, and aspired, and now I'm here in
Right,
this
right.
beautiful college.
Now, you have to tell me this one thing that KPIT, which is the company that you have been placed, all right, is a company that does not need the course that you were enrolled in, admitted in, that was electrical, that is a CSIT based company. So tell the audience who are there from branches other than CSIT, how hard or how difficult, what challenges have to be faced as a not to that branch, student. How hard was for it? And is it a hype that only CSIT students can go or crack the interviews? How is it? Because you have cracked many companies, like 4 to 5 companies, if I'm not wrong, right? And that are
Yeah.
software-based companies. So how hard or easy it is? Let the audience know.
Okay. So first of all, KPIT was the first company I was placed. So it does not. It has. It needs the skills of CSIT person as well as a person from electronics background, not an electrical. It has this combination of automation in it. For the same, I first went through. I would say I went through a session of our alumni who was placed recently in KPIT, and I just got insight what I had to prepare for. I was preparing for the normal placement since 1 year, but before a company came, every time we got insights from the alumni how to prepare for the company, and I just followed it. And I was already preparing my Python programming since third year, but this KPIT said that they needed C and C++ and embedded C programming. They the coding questions that were going to appear in the exam were not allowed in Python. They were only allowed in C, C++, and embedded C. So for the same, I was well aware of C and PP since my first year. So accordingly, I resumed my preparations. It was basic, very basic, because they mostly need electronics engineers from electronics background. That's why they give very simple, based on your branch, they give you codes. Like if you're from CSE or IT, your codes would be of would be bit higher level than the codes that a core background. My challenge was to grab about C whatever I could in that short span of time. I did my best, and I also revised whatever mathematics. It basically focuses more on mathematics, programming in C, and microcontrollers, microprocessors, filters, all the electronics part. So I also had electronic subjects since my second year in my branch. So I just my first challenge was to just revise C, just get through to revise all the electronics part I had studied till date. Aptitude, maths preparation was with in hand only, since I had started preparing for the placements. So that was not much of the issue. Was for the C and the electronics part, and I think I cracked it well.
Right, right. Let's get now to the process of how you actually do it for any company, specifically now here for KPIT. Let the audience know what are the rounds for KPIT and how many of them are there, and what are the level of rounds that you thought they were personally.
Okay, so first of all, when you fill the form, there is a screening process. So they have certain criteria. So you have to pass those criteria. Like you should not have any active backlog. You should have 60% throughout 10. Mention this, but KPIT specifically mentions this, that in 10th standard and 12th standard, you should have this much marks in your English subjects and this much marks in your math subjects. I think so. Below it, you will be eliminated from the process itself. So if you pass the screening process first, you submit all your documents there, and then the screening process starts. If you pass the screening process, if you're eligible, then you will receive a test link the next day. So I received the test link in the next day. The exam is mostly in the evening session from 6 to 9 p.m., 6:30 to 9 p.m. First round is of 2.5 hours, and the second round is of 3 hours. The first round consists of 5 parts. It's again an elimination round, like not elimination, but if you pass only the first round, then only you are eligible to go second round. Otherwise, you are not. So first round consists of 5 sections. First is aptitude. Next is engineering mathematics. Then the professional skills and English you are known with. That is the third round. Fourth round is the embedded C programming, like what you know about C and embedded C. And the fifth round is your core questions based on what branch you are from. Like I was from electrical, so I had questions based on control systems, electrical machines, microcontrollers, microprocessors, filters, and all. So that was the first round. You can switch to any sections, any of these 5 sections during the 2.5 hours. After you crack this first round, you'll receive a test link after 2 days. So after 2 days round, you'll receive a test link of the another round. The second round consists of two subsections, sorry. The sections consist of C programming first, and the another is MCQs based on embedded C programming. So I was not much aware of embedded C programming, so I skipped that part a bit for a while, and I mostly focused on the C programming as I had practiced many questions. Due to consistent practice since I was able to solve the questions. The questions were very basic, like find the prime numbers from the range given, and find the sum of the prime numbers, or just extract the prime numbers, like that. So they were very basic questions, just a bit tricky, which you could just give it off. So I think that was easy for me. The challenge was towards the embedded C MCQs because I wasn't much aware of it. Still, I tried to use based on that. I answered as much questions as I could. There is no negative marking, so you can just mark the questions, mark the answers you feel. So I did certain, I guessed certain questions answers, and I used logic for certain questions, and certain questions I knew the answer of. So that's how my second round went, and I was very nervous because it was a tough round for the MCQ part. But fortunately, after 6 days, I received a mail that I have been selected the KPIT interview round. But again, in the morning, I started preparing. But the next day, when they said I would have a technical interview, I got a mail that there will be no technical interview, and I'm selected for the KPIT. So from the last 3 years, as we are saying, 2020, 2021, and for the 2022 batch, that is me, there has not been a single interview. Before that, there were interviews, and maybe after that might be. But for my batch, there was no interview. So that's how I was placed in KPIT.
All right, all right. But to the students who are not from CSIT branch especially, tell them, how did you prepare for the technical skills, especially for programming languages like C, C++, Python?
Okay. As I said, that was again a challenge for me, as when I got insights of KPIT. I was aware of CPP training. C was also good, but still I lacked in it. For the people who come from a core background, you already get trainings on this. Our college provides a CRT training, so campus recruitment training. So before you are placed, you get a training of 200 hours. I was very concentrated on that training. I was very interactive during that training, which made me good at CPP. I could just get insights of CPP there. C was just a reflection of it. CPP was actually advanced in C. So learn C in that short period of time. So programming language is not much of an issue if you are well, focused that what you have to do. I like my things to be sorted, oriented. So when I have to go for something, I just sort them out. That yeah, for this thing, I had to first do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. Similarly, for the programming thing, first I focused on C. After completing that, I looked for the professional questions that KPIT has given from the last few years. Mostly, I practiced papers from the last few years. That was more helpful for me. I would suggest for the people, the audience, to refer to that more, because there is the similarity questions you find when you appear for the process.
All right, all right. Tell me this one thing, when you say that I like to keep things simple and sorted and oriented, what do you think you should start with to keep things oriented? And especially speaking specifically of any placement to any companies, how should a student start? And when should he or she start?
Okay, so first of all, you know what the company is going to ask for. You know how the rounds are going to be. Like for KPIT, I knew there would be 2 rounds. I have to first crack the first round, and the first round consists of this subset. So I started preparing for the first round first. The first round consisted of aptitude and verbal skills that I had already been. Then the next round was engineering mathematics that was again going on with me as a so that was again a elimination part for me. Problem was with the electronics part, so I focused more on the electronics part, the microcontrollers, microprocessors, filters, and all those topics. A revision of my papers for previous papers of KPIT. I contacted the alumni who were placed in this company and what type of questions they had, what type of papers they had access to, and I got the access to the same. I practiced that, and I think that was sufficient for me to crack the first round. For the second round, when I realized I have exam tomorrow, as I was already preparing from a month about C, so again a revision was. I think I could program well in C then because of it.
Right. I think since clearing the very 2 rounds, somewhere or the other, that discipline or that personality trait of yours, where versatility was a kind of thing, where embedded system was an electronics part, C++ was other than your branch part. I think that is where your own personality trait somewhere or the other played a very important role. All right. So I think this was it with KPIT as a placement, and how did Yukta Patil, actually enrich to that, and finally did got placed into it. Yukta, we have audience, so would you like to give any message as an engineering student, as a senior to your juniors? Like I'm also your junior, so any message to the audience?
Sure. Cracking certain placements isn't that of a tough task. You have prepared yourself for this thing only since the last for the last 4 years of engineering. You're preparing yourself, so that's not a huge task. The task is to find yourself in this process, who you are, to build yourself at the end of the graduation. Are you able to see yourself the way you want to? So you have to make that realization, and even if you realize that part, it's not necessary for the same. You can be yourself in just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, no, even in a week. So that's a message I would like to give on the personality part. Just get out of your comfort zone and get what you want to achieve, what you want to be. The second thing I would like to say, coming to the technical part, why? Because of lack of confidence and because of lack of verbal communication. So I would like to say, prepare for this part the most, along with all the academical part you're preparing. Yep, you have to prepare for the verbal communication and the confidence part. You have to give a lot of interviews, a lot, and lot of candidates fail at the screening process itself. So you have to prepare yourself more for the interview process. Give thousands and thousands of interviews to your friends, to your colleagues, to sir, to our TPO, to our FPCs, TPCs, and you'll find your own way.
That give as many interviews and do the trial and error process as much as you can. And we at SP&IR are here to, with so many great videos now. We have a target of over 100 videos in like 3 months. So we are on to it. Like we are having like 2 videos on the YouTube per day. So we are really doing a great work as SP&IR. Plus SP&IR tells you to stay connected right from first year. Bode sir is really taking on to it, to making the first year students realize that how important it is to stay connected with the body who will be there with you during your placement, and that gives you
Exactly.
a different touch altogether.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Yukta, for connecting with us, giving out your valuable time. And I, the host at SP&IR and a representative from the whole SP&IR team, would like to wish you all the best for the future endeavors that you are going to take. And we wish you all the best. Keep shining, keep smiling, keep orating, keep being versatile and dynamic personality that you are. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lavish. That was a great call.
Thank you.